to my channel. Today I will be talking about my experience and what I had to do in order to get back home to South Africa from America, and basically the procedure that had to happen in order to self-isolate in a hotel and just how I ended up back home. It all kind of began when schools in the US started shutting down because of like coronavirus, and everything went fully online, so live lectures, live discussions were all on Zoom. I had a whole suite to myself. Everyone who could move out had to move out, so campus was relatively empty. I would get food at the dining hall. Luckily there was a market downstairs, so I didn't have to go to the shop. It became really lonely and I just really wanted to go home to see my family, and I know it was really difficult because all the commercial flights were cancelled and that it wouldn't be possible unless I got a repatriation flight from the government. So I heard there was like already a flight that went back home to South Africa from America like a few weeks before I got the email. It's just notifying me that there are flights and that this could be the final flight. I was like weighing, the pros and cons of leaving right then and then in the middle of quarter, because I was about to write my final exams in 2 weeks, and like if I were to like move back to South Africa, I would have to like pack up, I would have to cancel my housing, I would have to like find storage to put all my things, and then I would have to like book a flight to go to Washington because that's where the flight was happening. I was gonna go from Washington to South Africa, and then I would have to like book a hotel because I needed to get to Washington first, stay a night, and then fly the next day. So it was just a lot going in my head. I was just under a lot of stress. I was like, okay, I need attendance because of my like lectures and my coursework, and it was just a lot. But I knew in my heart, I was like, I need to go home, I need to see my family. This could be the last time that I could go home, and that if I didn't go now, I would never go home. I got the email. It was like a back and forth. You would send them your information, like your ID number, your passport number, just all the information to show that you're a South African citizen, and like reasons as to why you need to go home. They emailed me back just the price of the flight, the date and the time. But luckily I was able to get one. My friend Erica also got one, so we were able to fly home together. So we kind of did everything together. It was really nice. It definitely made it less stressful because you had someone there traveling with you and like someone to talk to. What I did was I had to quickly pack up, literally just empty out everything in my room. And then I had to find someone. Luckily there was this cool oak who was like, yeah, you can keep your things in my room, in my apartment, somewhere else. I was like, great. It took me 2 days solid to find boxes, to move out. I was like juggling packing up and doing my coursework at the same time, so that was kind of stressful. Then I emailed all my professors and my TAs that I will be absent for the next week because I will be flying home. They were very understanding, which is great. Drove to the airport, made sure we had our mask on, we had gloves on, hand sanitizers, wipes, just make sure just to take all precautions. Then the flight came. Like you could tell that it was the flight home because you just saw like all these South African people lined up together. I saw a South African flag, and like people were sitting there, and you just had to check off your name, and then you wait in the line, and then you check in your luggage. It was really smooth. Everything went by really smoothly. Obviously they checked our temperatures. Then we waited to board the plane.
Say hi. 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 The airport is empty. We are on our way back home to South Africa. It was a long journey. Had to fly from San Diego to Washington. And now we're here. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited to be back home.
I'm also excited to go home.
And in my mind, Erica also agreed that we thought the plane was going to be relatively like not too full because we wanted to be separate from each other because social distancing, say 1 meter or 6 feet apart, but that was not the case. The plane was packed, it was full. There was just a person, so it was really risky. It's just a lot of people in a small, tight space for a long period of time. That's why we were very careful. We had goggles on, we had masks on, we had our gloves on. Like the most stressful part I think about the flight was when it was like mealtime, because then I would have my mask on and then I would like have to like quickly eat my food. Someone started singing the national anthem at the back of the plane, and then everyone just started singing, which was really nice.
Welcome aboard South African Airways with the member of the Starlines to
The flight went relatively well. I slept most of the way. Then we arrived in South Africa and I was like so happy, I was so grateful. They took us off the plane like group by group, and then they kind of filled us into these buses, into these mini buses, and then they took us to where our luggages were. So All our luggages were out there. Luckily, Eric and I, we found our luggages really quickly. We took our luggages, then we went back onto the minibuses, and everyone was like in there. They had to stay within their minibus group, right? So then those minibuses drove us to the hotel, which was like literally right next to the airport. Then we had to check into the hotel. It was free. The hotel room was free, the food was going to be free, everything was going to be free, just so that we could be isolated and away from the rest of the country, because we could be the ones risking the country of spreading the virus from America to South Africa. And I think it took like about 2 or 3 hours just like wait to check in, because the procedure was kind of long. We had to sign like these forms. My room was massive. Just for me, I felt overwhelmed with how much space. I had like 2 queen size beds, I had this massive shower, like bathtub, was just a bathroom to myself. Everything was big, and I was like, okay, bougie. The announcements, if they had to like say announcements like we're gonna be doing temperature tests or anything like that, they had like this loudspeaker that everyone could hear. I feel like that wasn't the best option to, you know, give out information to everyone in the hotel. For me, I know I would be like in class with like my headphones on and I would not be able to hear an announcement. So there was like some miscommunication at times. Every day, twice a day, they would check our temperatures, ask how we were feeling. 3 times a day they gave us a meal. I opted for the vegetarian meal. The food was pretty nice. I'm not picky, so I enjoy the food. It always came with like a Coke, fruits. There was always dessert. It was really interesting. They also gave us a daily walk. Like we could walk outside and get like fresh air. They would let like group by group to go outside for like a walk. So it was really funny that you just see people walking around, just walking. When you're stuck in your room and that's all you can do. Like we couldn't leave our hotel rooms unless we were told that we were allowed to. We were basically stuck in our rooms. So just to be able to go outside and breathe and talk, it was really nice. The Wi-Fi was pretty stable. Like I was able to do my schoolwork. Luckily for me, they allowed people, if you were feeling okay, you could request a private testing, so you had to pay for that one. They tested if I had COVID or not, and once I got my result, I was able to leave the isolation in 10 days. Usually it's 14 days, but I had to self-isolate at home for another further 4 days, because that was like the agreements. They kind of also had some kind of like tracking system or a form, like if they find you outside of your house or outside of where you're supposed to go, they can arrest you. It was really serious.
It was nice staying here for about 10 days. I'm all ready to go, all packed up. Mom is here to fetch me. Got my permit to leave and my test results. Do not have COVID, so time to go home.
I was able to see my family. I was so happy to see my family and my dogs. It was really weird though, because I had to stay away from them in my own home for another week or so, because like just in case. It was really weird. I had to eat dinner separately. I had to have my mask on. Oh, interesting fact. They kind of announced that the people that were on the flight that I was on had COVID. They tested positive. So I am grateful I didn't get COVID. But the mere fact that there were people on that plane that tested positive, I could have gotten COVID, but I didn't because I took precautions. I washed my hands, I wore gloves, I had a mask on. Yeah, it was a pretty smooth procedure. I thought it was going to be really complicated. Honestly, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just sent a lot of emails, kept asking questions, kept calling them. And then they got back to me and they said I could go on a flight back home. It's really comforting to know that I'm back home with my family and I'm safe and I can enjoy my mom's cooking. Don't even know if it's going to be safe to even go back to the US. But as of right now, it's summer, my first ever summer, and I'm taking summer session, which is just basically taking coursework within the summer so that you don't have to take it when the school starts. It's kind of hectic. I'm surviving. It's keeping me busy. I miss rowing. I miss my team. I miss being on the water. I miss exercising outside. That was my experience with just the whole process of going from the US back to South Africa, what I had to do. It was just really smooth, really simple. Didn't have to do much out of pocket except for like the plane ticket and the COVID testing, but it was relatively smooth. I think the country did a good job with that. I'm glad to be home. So that's it. I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, you can comment below. Please follow my Instagram because I do post other things relating to my channel on there. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please stay safe. Please wear your mask, wash your hands, keep your distance from people. It will get better, I promise. We just have to be responsible and stay you and stay true.